A few words why plane control is important. There are several reasons for this. The first reason is, if you can control your planes, you don't hit yourself so much. Simple example, I still remember when I first tried to spin poi, my very first poi lesson, I tried to spin here on the opposite wheel plane, opposite of the spinning hand, and I constantly hit myself. I was happy if I got one time around, and the second time I would just whack myself in the calves. And this is a matter of plane control. So if I didn't get past my calves, it meant that my planes were somehow off. Either it was not a clean wheel plane, but there was an angle here, or it was too much tilted here, so that it was not vertical, but kind of this kind of diagonal. That occurs everywhere. So some people just try the next spin, and behind their back they always hit their legs. That is also a matter of plane control. So if you don't want to hit yourself, you'll have to gain plane control with every move that you want to perform. You need this plane control not only to keep the plane like this, wheel plane on both sides, or this wall plane in front and behind you. But what you need is the ability to constantly adjust your planes. Simple example, you're crossing from side to side. So you got your wheel plane here, nice and straight. You got your wheel plane there, nice and straight. But to get from one to the other, you have to be at this crossing point at a diagonal. So you have to bend your plane from strictly wheel plane to this diagonal, and here again back to the wheel plane. And that occurs in all kinds of moves that you perform. It can also occur behind your back. If you're doing something like this, you need these diagonals behind your back and be exactly at the point where you have your hand to catch the whip again. You also need this adjusting when you start to turn. There's an extra tutorial on turning with spinning on vertical planes, where I go over what happens to your planes and directions when you turn, so check that one out. But just a brief note here, when you're turning you need to constantly adjust your planes a little inwards. So it's not really a clean wall plane maybe, but a little bit towards your belly. Because when you turn, you cross over here at this diagonal, and then you have to gain it back to a clean wall plane. So I'm starting here, I have to go here, and again here. And after this crossing, after this turning point, I have to adjust here and get the plane back inwards. If I don't adjust it, then I'm going to end up like this. So with every turn, I will not do a full 180 turn, but only as far as the diagonal goes. So wherever you are, you need first the ability to keep the plane, then to break the plane, bend the plane to somewhere else, and then regain your plane again. And that takes a lot of practice. A second reason why you need clean planes and the ability to adjust your planes, there are a lot of moves that look a lot better if they are on clean planes and clean placements of your spins. So as an example, just 4-petal instant flower. So if you're really on a clean wall plane and all the petals, clean placement at the cardinals, then it looks really like a 4-petal flower. If your planes are off and you struggle to regain them, then it doesn't create this mesmerizing image. So a lot of moves are not just about understanding how they work and just doing your spins at the more or less right place, but also to adjust your planes to create the exact image that you want. Of course, you can really play with letting your planes go off. You can play with really bending your planes and can really perform this. There are all kinds of options, but to make it look deliberate, it should look like it was your choice and not just your planes going off, and that is a huge difference. So there's no way around practicing plane control. Either you practice your plane control with special exercises, or you try to gain the plane control by practicing the move you want to perform. There are two ways you have, and probably you need a mix of both.